Dude, being the Mid-South booker was fine. It was fun. And I also was the trainer. We had a lot of shit going on every single week, man. We were just consistently fucking having shows and just doing new stories and new talent coming in left and right. But then, I was like, after all that work and it just getting taken away, I said, you know what? I don't want to be in the main event anymore. That's a lot of work that can just be, someone can just yank it from you.
There's our third member. It was Kofi.
It was Kofi.
It was New Day. Okay.
But yeah, when they can just take it from you that quickly, I said, I don't want to work for anybody else anymore. I want to just run it myself. And I also don't want it to be one of those things where it's like, man, you put 6 months to a year worth of effort into it and then it just goes to nothing.
Yeah.
Because as soon as he says, well, we're going to shut it down, it's like, damn, now that I've got my own, I got to start completely fresh.
Completely fresh.
Like I had
new
name,
identity,
new school. I had to find a venue full time, and that shit's tough, dude.
Oh, I can imagine.
Because I mean, think about it. Fucking MSWA, which I don't know if you were ever even there.
No.
MSWA was an active promotion for like 16 years, and then I got my hands on it.
That's a lot of fucking work.
And then the owner's just like, fuck it. I'm like, God damn it.
Oh.
Yeah, because starting over fresh after all of that was just a big fucking hurdle to jump over.
Yeah, I can. Okay, the fact that they are getting this sequence done with ladders right there
in the way
is fucking crazy.
Yeah, they're doing all kinds of
fucking acrobatics.
Would you call those roundhouse kicks that Morrison and Kofi are doing, or is that something else?
It's something of that nature. With Kofi, his Trouble in Paradise is more of a tornado kick.
I wouldn't know what that is.
I also enjoy MMA, so
it's called a tornado kick.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he does.
The roundhouse is kind of from the back, is it not?
It's just like straight up. Just a straight high kick, typically to the head.
That's what a roundhouse is?
Yeah.
So it's not a round anything?
Not really.
Why the fuck you call it that?
I don't know why they name these things.
What a dumb thing to say. Like I would at least think there's some spinning involved.
Right.
Because I've heard of a spinning heel kick. That's what X-Pac used to do.
Yeah.
And then I've talked to Father Padge a lot. He's a fucking like crazy black belt in karate. All those kicks are real, When he does, he said, it's hard to pull my kicks. And I said, so don't. And he goes, I'll kick your fucking head off. And I go, just don't kill me. He goes, it's hard to pull my kicks. I said, you know what? I said, just aim for a body part. Because if you roundhouse somebody in the shoulder, are you really going to fucking like tear them to pieces? I don't think so.
It's going to hurt a little bit, but...
Hit me in the shoulder. I'll sell my neck. It's all good.
Call it good.
I think he tried something that didn't quite go.
Tried, and I will say...
You know what it is? He held on too tight to that ladder. He didn't commit.
Just what they're trying to do with these ladders and no fucking crowd.
Notice they're not taking tons of bumps.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they're teasing really well. See, that's funny. He just pushed the ladder into his face. The ladder goes around him like the front of a house on an old Western, and then he pokes him in the eye.
Just going right through the hole.
Yeah, that's
the window.
Fun.
Fucking Christ. Well, I mean, that's like, I'm not even going to lie. It was so fucking cold a couple of weeks ago at Dojo.
Very
that
cold.
Match that I had with Owen, I looked straight at Owen. I was like, we're not bumping.
I tell people all the time, I'm like, get through this without taking any bumps if you can.
We're not bumping, Owen. What's going to happen is...
here's the thing. You have a bump card.
Yeah.
You guys are young, and it's early in your careers, but you have a bump card. This says hot. I don't know how hot it is.
I like spicy, so it's all good.
But it's Nacho Mama's beef jerky. They're our best sponsor right now, and any chance I get to try and help promote their business, because they do such a good job of promoting ours, I will. I'm going to pull a skinny piece out for me. You get a big bite of that.
Who's what's the Jerky King's name?
Kevin the Jerky King. Yo.
At the show that we did last weekend, he saw the hard times bag.
Was it you?
Yes.
He was pissed. He was pissed.
Look, I'm on food stamps right now, and Nacho Mama's isn't sold in stores. Otherwise,
dude,
I'd grab it.
So
I heard him talking about it, and I was like, oh.
Rock and Ronnie and I are gym buddies. Tuesdays and Sundays. So we go to the gym this morning. We were in there for like 2 hours. We lifted super heavy. This isn't that hot. It's pretty good. I've said it before. I don't like soft jerky.
Mm-hmm.
I like the crunchy stuff. So this is kind of it's another thing that I really enjoy because they make the type of jerky that I like. So the fact that they contacted us and they decided that they wanted to be a part of the team, like they said, like they didn't just want to sell beef jerky at our shows. They were like, we want to sponsor you guys. We want to support you guys. We want to share your stuff. We want to help you as much as you're willing to help us. And like any chance you get, if you see Nacho Mama's beef jerky, get you a handful because it's good shit. And it's been a good partnership. But like,
okay, that was fucking crazy.
Tylenol.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's they just presented Ronnie with the Nacho Mama's Hardcore Championship, and he's gonna be, oh dude, what a fucking spot.
Yeah.
Catches him. They're at parallel, like his feet were where Morrison's feet were. Then he pops up and does the Hurricane Rana.
Yeah,
that's something.
That was
like an extra little spin on that. I like the paint by numbers gear that he's wearing because that's real. Those were white last year. He let his kid paint them.
Really?
Yeah, that's real paint by numbers. They're using markers to fill the gear in.
That's cool as shit.
Yeah, they were all white at the Mania before that. And all three of them had it.
Hell yeah. Which, I think that's Jay.
I wasn't watching the introductions.
This is at the point where the Usos look the fucking same.
Right.
Now they've at least got different dyed hair so you can tell them apart.
That was one of the best lines he used when they had their promo before War Games. He said, they're not confused about us anymore. They know who I am and they know who you are. That was something I bet you they've wanted forever.
Oh, yeah. Easily.
Well, like one of them's got a mullet. The other one's got long hair.
Well, that was a part of the story.
They put them on separate brands. One of them got a major push.
leading into Roman and Jay's original program at the start of the whole Bloodline thing was
getting kind of hot.
Which one are you?
Wouldn't that piss you off?
Yeah. But by the same token, you really couldn't tell for the longest fucking time.
So, Ronnie's a twin, if you didn't know.
Did not.
Yeah. His brother and him look absolutely nothing alike.
Oh, so they're fraternal twins.
Well, they're identical paternal, or is it maternal twins? Or I thought identical meant they were
identical. You look the exact same.
Mm-hmm.
Fraternal is like you look different.
Is there this may be the dumbest thing I say all day, but is there a difference in like they share an embryonic sac? Is that, and then there's one where they have two? I think there's two types of twins there.
I don't know about all that biology.
There are identical and not identical twins. Anyway, they're identical twins. However, Ronnie has been in the gym for 30 years. He has a mullet. His brother eats candy, smokes cigarettes, doesn't have a mullet. They don't look the same. So it's like you'll never get confused about that one. Yeah, these guys are working really hard for no people.
For no fucking people. They're just trying their damnedest.
And, there was an indie show a couple months back. It was on a Thursday night. And the promoter was asking for advice. And I said, because they had a bad night. Well, I wouldn't say it was a bad night. They probably had a great show. But they had a really light crowd. Mm-hmm. And he was like, any suggestions? And I said, here's the deal. I record events every single Thursday night in front of practically no people. So if you're worried about the amount of people who came to the show, I wouldn't be. Don't be. Don't focus on who didn't come. Just pay attention to the people who did. Look at this. Isn't that fucking nuts? Morrison just tightroped all the way across the ring. And what's that? Is it Commander that does that now?
I think so, yeah.
Everybody acts like that's the coolest shit in the world. Morrison was doing it
at a slower pace than Commander
Yeah,
does.
he took his sweet fucking time. I wonder if he got that done on the first take.
That's the question, isn't it?
This is a recorded show. So that said,
oh, we didn't get it right. Let's do it again because this is.
Think about it. No, really, if he didn't get it, he could just get up and try it again. Because it's a recorded show. That's the thing about like Lucha Underground or like when they were doing Thursday Night SmackDown. All that stuff was taped. So if you fucked up, you could just do it again.
There's actually the old clip of Morrison being in a fucking table match, I think with Triple H. And the ending spot is he's getting beeled off the top rope to the ground through a table, and he just bounces off the sumbitch instead.
Oh, and
so they re-recorded it.
Yeah, I want to do that twice. Fuck that.
Right. No thanks.
That sounds awful. Why the fuck, man? I would just let that one go. I was watching. Do you watch Botchamania?
Yes.
I was watching Botchamania, the most recent one, and it was. I think it was a What Culture Pro Wrestling show, and that's out in the UK.
Yeah,
it's not called What Culture anymore. It's
Defiant now.
Defiant now, and which I think was a bad decision. I think that as soon as they switched brands, they lost a lot of steam because it's still What Culture website.
Well,
they still do all that shit. I know the inner details on why that happened. I just wish it wouldn't have,
With the exodus of all those major presenters at one time, Blampier, Pacitti, Jack the Jobber, Ross.
Half of them are gone.
Yeah, like the people that actually brought you to the show in the first place are gone now.
Well, there was one, Adam something, very thin guy, black hair. I can't remember the rest of his name. But he was on everything. I mean, he was the front, like.
Yeah, that would have been Adam Blampier.
Is that Blampier?
Yeah, okay. Back then
he was the host of everything, and then it's like you've got Adam Wilborn left.
Mm-hmm.
You've got
Simon Miller.
Simon Miller left, and then you've got like a bunch of interchangeable people that I can't remember their fucking names. Yeah, I do like it when Mike fills in for people. They have a giant inflatable microphone that they just put in the other chair because there's just one guy, and he's like, "That's supposed to be a 2-man show," so Mike's filling in.
Here we go.
That's fun. I've always liked ups and downs. Simon was never like my favorite of the whole show, but
he's the only guy from What Culture that I even can really stand to watch any of his videos.
The weekly recap show, The News, is the one I watch. He's not on that one. I do watch ups and downs when it's an episode I really care about, but 9 times out of 10, if it's a program that I didn't watch, I don't care, so I'm not gonna watch it. But there's tons of different like YouTube reaction shows that I watch. Like I'm a big Screen Crush and so Screen Crush is the one where it's like in like an old video store where they recap films. They do like the Easter eggs and the just I can't remember what that other one is called, but it's like 116 Easter eggs in this Marvel movie. There's like 86 things you might have missed, or hey, we're gonna go back and recap this movie. And the thing that I like about it is like if it's a film that I've watched a million times, they might show me something I never noticed.
Right.
That shit's fun.
I do like things like that too. Definitely.
What the fuck? It's called The Break Room. There's 3 YouTube channels. One of them's called The Break Room though, but they'll basically just go through and talk about all the stuff that might be happening in the entertainment world. And it's usually superhero film related. Marvel or DC or something. But they'll throw in like Harry Potter, Star Wars, other just excessively dramatic or wild programming,
Yeah.
There was one weekly show that moved the crash pad real quick.
Yeah.
They actually shot it because what they did was they fucking threw it over the wall and then they got the corner of it on the wall. You could see it. What a bunch of silly shit.
It's so goofy, but you know what?
Remember when the Big Show threw Kurt Angle like off the roof?
Yes, that traumatized me as a child.
The
It's
fake
like, oh my
blood on the
god, he
back
just
of his
killed
head.
him. Had Tori up there screaming her head off.
Like fucking Frankenstein.
Dude, I forgot the work that they did in this ladder match.
See, he's going long too. This match has been 20 minutes.
This is insane.
Oh, this is hot. That piece was hot. Damn.
Oh, did you get a good one?
There's a lot of pepper on that one.
Oh, shit.
I don't mind the hot. I prefer teriyaki. I'm a teriyaki guy. And then about a year ago, I got a Christmas present. It was like a variety pack of Slim Jims. It wasn't a name brand Slim. It was a different brand, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not Slim Jims in the box, but it's everything from wild hog to ostrich meat, alligator meat, emu, like
the fuck,
random shit. Like it was like I was eating beef jerky for a month, and it was a different critter every time. Yeah, alligator was interesting because it was like a Slim Jim. It was like a meat stick, so like it had the grease and everything, and you could really get a big taste of it. It had elk. I had reindeer. Yeah, just random shit. They all pulled it down. Everybody's got a piece.
So somebody's clearly crashing. It's going to be Morrison crashing down on a ladder behind them. Well, behind him.
He pulled it down though.
And that's how they did the finish.
They kept the clip and he pulled the belts. He fell down like he fell down like an idiot. Like what I would have liked to have seen is you have the clip, you have the belts, you have one member of each team take a belt and one guy go with the clip, and they all three raise it up and go, yeah, oh shit. Then you have the question, well, who's the champion? Because one member of each team has a belt.
I've actually had an idea for a story for a very long time of that exact scenario.
I've been in it.
Of one member of each team grabbing the belts.
So it wasn't me personally, it was my brother. The biggest feud in Sooner World Class history was X-Rated versus Nemesis.
X-Rated, is that the
X-Rated was Sean and Kevin Sanchez.
Yep.
Or Shane and Kevin Sanchez. Nemesis at the time was Damian Morte, Rage Logan, and Christopher Crow, my brother.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's tag team match, whatever. They get Shane up there, and they get my brother up there, and they're both fucking fighting at the top. Well, they go both and pull a belt down at the same time. So one member of each team had the belt. So they were forced to tag together, and they called themselves Rated In for like a month. They did like 2 or 3 defenses, and then eventually they had another match where they sorted it back out. But there was this long joke between me and Kevin Sanchez for years. I said, you and me are going to bring back Rated In. So Sean and Crow did it. Kevin and I were going to do it. He ended up retiring. We never got around to it, but that was one thing that I wanted to do with him before he ended up retiring. But he does wrestle on occasion, but like he's just tired of being physical all the time.
This is Kevin James.
Yeah, Kevin
about, right?
James Sanchez.
Okay.
He's one of my dearest friends from like the early part of my career. When I was 19, 20, 21, he lived with me.
There's some of that heat.
It's hot now, right?
Got some now.
It lingers. But yeah, he lived with me for a couple of years, and him, Rick Russo, and LJ McDaniels. It was another wrestler, and then LJ McDaniels was like the commissioner of the company, and I'm like 20 and I live in a 4-bedroom house and I'm charging them all rent. Like they're all paying me like $200 a month to pay the rent. And like we had so much disposable income at the time because we had so many people living there. And we were just chilling in our rooms. Like if we weren't hanging out at the kitchen table, drinking Coors Light and smoking cigarettes, we were just hanging out in our rooms, minding our own business. We always got along. It's just a bunch of bros. Like nobody ever had any issues until women came around. I had a girlfriend. My brother had a girlfriend. They didn't like each other, but uh, it's like, of course, everybody gets along great until those two step on each other's toes for no reason,
The pettiest of
and it's always
bull.
silly bullshit. Yeah, if she's gonna do this, then she needs to do that. It's like, how about you just go to your end of the house and shut the fuck up? And it was like that for a while.
Oh my god, I forgot they did have Rollins having that whole faction with AOP and Buddy Murphy at the
See, you
time.
forget about this shit.
But then as soon as the pandemic hit, it's like it's just Seth.
Buddy Murphy and Seth was a good idea for a team. I think if they were just a tag team, they could have done some damage.
Oh yeah. I'm kind of surprised that they haven't run back Matthews now, Buddy Matthews, and fucking Aleister Black, because their series while they were in WWE,
Good shit.
some of the best matches you'd catch on any given card. Like,
I'm pretty optimistic that they will go back and that Brody Lee will stay. Or
Brody King.
Brody King will stay. I think Brody King will stay and he'll get probably like a big man push at some point as a single. He might end up with like the TNT title or something. Or if they end up changing channels at some point, I don't know what they'll call that belt, but
The Max Championship.
Why not? Go for it. Call it whatever you want.
It's just another belt at this point in time.
They have a lot, but so does WWE. That's the thing.
Yeah.
People were shitting on them for having one for every person, and I'm like, it's like that everywhere you go. I've tried my best to consolidate because, like, every chance I get, I'll unify stuff just to try to get less titles on the show so that they mean more. And then, like, before you know it, a sponsor comes along and they're like, hey, we'd like to see this. And then you end up with a hardcore title.
Yeah, now we have the Nacho Mama's hardcore title.
Well, see, the difference about that is, like, that one, like, that is a Nacho Mama's title. It's not a WWE, or it's not WWE. Obviously, it's not a WWE. It's not a UWO title. It's not an RDW title. It's a Nacho Mama title. And the way I see it, as far as I'm concerned, that's a part of Ronnie's gear.
Right.
Zack Ryder had the internet title. There was an indie wrestler in Tulsa called Paul Puerto Rico. He had the Puerto Rican Championship. It was a part of his gear. Before that, there was a guy named Jack Legacy. He had a title that was completely custom made, and it was like an old U.S. title, but it was jewels made to look like the ocean. It was like a I don't know how to explain it. Like a surfer type, like a big wave crash, but it was made out of fucking jewels. And it was just part of his gear.
Interesting.
It was beautiful. It was handmade.
So kind of in the same vein of like the $1 Million Championship.
Sure.
Like it was just Ted DiBiase's little.
Yeah, like he could defend it if he wanted it to, but that's not really necessary. It's a great way to advertise this product.
Oh yeah.
And he is the macho man of Nacho Mamas. So like if anybody's gonna have it, Ronnie should have it. And I think that it's dope that they wanted to do something special and like make, a piece of wrestling history for our company and for him to carry. That's dope.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be defended, but if he decides he wants to defend it, say somebody else wins it, they're gonna have to defend it too.
Right. I mean, it's like you actually said whenever presenting it, like for the first time in Oklahoma, a company and a sponsor
come together to present the championship. for a person.
That's cool as hell. Honestly.
I've had a few customs made, When I was the XWE champion, longest reigning XWE champion of all the time, 26 and a half months. That belt over there, XWE title, it says Drake goes over on the side plates.
Yeah, I see that.
I think that the guy who's their champion now will break that record. But it's because they don't run shows anymore very often. So, like,
yeah.
they might do 4 or 5 a year. And they've had a string of bad luck. I like those people. I don't work for them anymore, but they were good people. They treated me right. A lot of the people who work for HCW now, which is my home promotion in Kansas, they work for HCW now. So that's where, like, Billy Simmons ran XWE. He split with ownership with the other guy, which Duncan Curtis was his name. Basically, they had a disagreement. He said, buy me out and I'll start running shows in Wichita. You can keep Salina. So he buys out Billy, and some people stayed, some people went. I was one of the people that was like, hey, I'm a Billy Simmons guy. I'm going where Billy goes. So when HCW opened, I started working there. No disrespect to the other company. It's just I'm going to be loyal to the person.
Right.
You could call that company whatever you want to call it. If Billy's the one running it, that's the one I'm going to work for. And I'm absolutely thrilled that I have people who think of me in the same light as I do of Billy. Because when they're like, hey, man, it doesn't matter wherever we're going, I'm going with you. That's such a nice feeling. It's just like, it's a level of respect that you never would think you deserve it. And then when you get it, you're like, holy shit, maybe I've done something right. And then, man,
I mean, shit. I started training at Sooner World Class.
Tell me about that.
And you were the head trainer.
What do you remember?
I remember working with Johnny Stone, Rick Russo.
I was talking about him this morning too. I remember that dude.
Dude,
I miss that guy.
It was actually so I started with you guys, and of course Chaz stopped in a couple of times. Who the fuck is Chaz's goddamn brother?
Thunder Bear, the big guy?
Yeah, the bigger guy. The other one that's also deaf.
Richard.
Yeah.
The Thunder Bear.
Fucking I remember training with like DeMarco Tate and
Mr. DDT.
Yep, Mr. DDT, DeMarco Tate. You put him over for the All-American Championship, I actually think. I was there at that show.
Hell yeah.
I watched you win a Crow Cup. I think you ended that night in a ladder match.
What's up there?
Did a fucking suicide dive and damn near took a header into the goddamn ground. I remember the setting of the underground and just the surrounding like bar area and the one light that just come down onto the ring. It was fucking cool, honestly. I really enjoyed that setting. But I'm just going through the paces. It was we've definitely done it differently in the DG dojo than it was back at Sooner World Class.
But all this pepper's gonna make me sneeze.
But it's like you actually mentioned, you're like, I wasn't getting paid for shit back then, so I didn't really give a fuck.
Well, here's the thing. Like, whether it was Sooner World Class or it was Mid-South, I didn't make a dime off of training people. Right. So, like, I would teach them what they needed to be taught so that I could have someone to work with. I'm going to teach you enough for you to get by so that I can do my thing. Because at the time, I'm still an aspiring wrestler, too. I want to wrestle.
Right.
And I want to get my shit in, and I want to get to learn and do all the things that I want to do. I was 20. I wanted a lot for myself. Now, you got to keep in mind, the dojo is the primary source of income for the promotion.
Right.
We take money from the dojo to pay for the shows, and then the money we make off the shows, we put back into the dojo. I've got a fucking projector screen on the counter over there that we're going to be using now.
Hell yeah.
Well, the screen's outside. That's the projector. That's a Bluetooth and Wi-Fi Panasonic projector so that we can have large screen videos instead of using the small TV. Now, there's going to be some smaller venues that we don't have room for that.
Right.
But the shows that we have the space to do so, yeah, we're going to have the. And you need a little bit of darkness too. You need to be able to have the lights dimmed in certain places. So some venues where the lights are universal, that's not an option. But if we can use that, say we use that at Score in the giant gymnasium, and you can see the giant, highlight video of your name, that's pretty neat shit. You want to be able to walk past that. That
Yeah,
looks
definitely.
dope. It adds something to the presentation. And then, the following couple of months, we just buy a few more things, whether it be lights or smoke or, pyro. I don't fucking know. We're just going to constantly try to grow the product and make it look more,
Yeah.
you know,
Add more to it.
make it look like more of a production. Because the wrestling, you guys are coming to class every single week to try to improve. It's not just show up because I'm supposed to. It's, hey, I need to come here and try to get better.
Yeah.
So when you do that, I know that over time the wrestling will improve. That's just a timing thing. Everybody's new, everybody's green, everybody needs the time to develop. So you do that. I'll focus on everything around the ring instead of everything that's going on in it. Thursdays, I'll focus on what's going on in it. On Saturday, it's everything else. You guys will do what you're supposed to do. I know you will. I trust you. You got to let me do that. So when we profit and I have enough money to produce things or buy things or get things that we just happen to need, yeah, I'm going to get them so that we can continuously add to the production. Because there's going to be one day when somebody comes in and like, I want to see what this show looks like. And if it looks cool, they're going to be interested in it.
Yeah.
And then they can offer something else maybe. You guys want to go to a bigger venue? Or, hey, do you guys need something else? Those sponsors, they just go, man, this looks fun. I want to be a part of this. That happens every time. If you have a good sponsor that just wants to be a part of it, they'll offer you whatever you need. Fucking, I watched Portnoy eat a shitty piece of pizza the other day. And he's like, I don't really like the pizza, but I'm reading the box. And the box says, last day of service, December 25th. Unless we raise this amount of money, here's the QR code to donate. He knocks on the door and he says, how much money do you need to stay open for a year? And they go, I don't know how to answer that. And they go, I'm a millionaire and I'm going to walk away. How much money do you need? And the guy goes, 60 grand. And he goes, you got it. And he shook his hand and Portnoy's a billionaire.
Right.
He gives him $60,000. He goes, how do I pay you? Is it just this QR code? And he's like, yeah, He's like, it wasn't the best piece of pizza, but it was a company that raised money for veterans and stuff. So he was doing good shit. So he saw a good deed. He was like, okay, this could be better. How can I help? No questions asked. Just threw the motherfucker $60K.
I'm sorry, I just noticed that X above your head.
Yeah.
What? Division X champion. Huh?
That's the X Division Championship from when I was a backyard wrestler.
Yeah,
okay. my brother made this in his ag class. He made it with an acetylene torch.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, dude. I've had that since God, I guess I was 14 years old, so this is probably 17 years old now.
That's wow.
Maybe 18 years old.
I mean, but I think most of us who have actually decided to take the leap into the business all had that backyard.
Oh, this is the first one. We had about a dozen of these. I had a stack of them out in my barn because when I got into ag class, I went fucking crazy and I just made belt after belt because I couldn't afford to buy one. So we just made them. Well. It's like all I need is a fucking French fry box from McDonald's, 2 pieces of Velcro, and some duct tape. And I got busy.
I always just use the little plastic toy belts you can buy at Walmart.
we were TNA fans. We wanted an X Division title. We wanted a pure division title because we liked Ring of Honor. We wanted a world championship. It was like an octagon shape, spray painted it gold. It was dope.
That is definitely a promotion I need to go back and kind of watch.
What's that?
Ring of Honor.
Old Ring of Honor, yeah.
Yes, the basis of the promotion, like the beginning years.
Their
And
best shows involve a goalpost. You just watch the footage, and if they're in a gym, it's good stuff. And then when they move on to like, the ballrooms and the big arenas, it's still good stuff. It's just it's not guerrilla style. It's not indie. Like I did extra work and I did security work for them. They rented my ring once, and they did a show at the Oklahoma State Fairgrounds, and in one of those convention buildings.
right,
I can't remember which one it was, but uh, they go and basically what they did was they had these cork boards. Do you know what a cork board is? Like for you put pins and shit in
like
it.
okay,
Like when you go look for like lawnmower service or dog
like a
washing,
bulletin board, kind
missing
of.
dog, please call. They're big, right? They're on wheels, and they put black tarps on them, and they would just wheel them out of a U-Haul and build a box so that they could build a locker room on one side of the building.
Hmm.
And then they built their little curtain and their stage, and they had a tub. Actually, they had several tubs filled with their Ring of Honor stuff, meaning like they had Ring of Honor turnbuckle pads, they had Ring of Honor ring skirts, they had the Ring of Honor canvas, and then they would rent the local ring and then just put all that shit on your ring.
Just outfit it.
They would just ask you, be like, is it a 16 or an 18-foot ring? And then they'd give you the 18-foot canvas to put on the ring. And they had a bunch of bungee cables, and they would just do it that way to save time instead of fucking with ropes.
Yeah.
So like, and then there's like a fifth or sixth tub, and it's like, these are security shirts. Just pass them out to everybody who's here to help. So you'd get a free ticket. You'd get to sit in the pit and do like the extra work you see all these other security guards doing. You're just doing it throughout the event. Like you're working. And yeah, so it was a very busy night. Me and like 6 other guys, like we have to show up early, set up the ring. We put all of our shit on it, and then they were like, "Oh no, we have the skirts. Like put these on it." We have to take half the ring apart, put new shit on it, and then like an hour before bell time, like at the same time doors open, that's when all the workers show up. We're over here like, are these guys gonna show up? Like, where the fuck are they? They show up at call time, which is also like the same time they open the doors. So these guys will walk in the back door with their luggage, set it down, and go straight to the merchandise table to sell merch. No talking, no planning, no nothing. And then they come back through the curtain right before the event starts. And it's like, your opening match is like a 20-minute triple threat between like fucking Mark Briscoe, Hanson, and like Cheeseburger or something random like that.
Hanson,
This one of the Vikings.
That's Ivar,
the
now,
big
I
one,
think.
yeah. So those three do a triple threat, but like I just saw all 3 of them on separate sides of the building. They didn't talk about nothing. They didn't say a word. And then the winner of that match gets a semi-main event match against like the television champion in the end of the show. And then there's another triple threat in the third match on the card, and that person gets a shot at the heavyweight title at the end of the night. So half of these guys are working twice. And they're not playing in dick. Because at intermission, right back to the merch table. Every single one of them's out there slinging merch like a motherfucker. They're doing everything they can to make money. And they're crushing it. I see like there's 30 fucking people walking around with the Ring of Honor heavyweight title replica that's like $500. It ain't cheap, dude.
God damn.
Yeah. And they're like, hey, if we sell all 30, they're pushing merch pretty well. They're like, if we sell all 30 of these championships, every single t-shirt we have will go on sale for $1. They don't give a shit if they sell 30 or not. They're just convincing 3 or 4 more people to go buy a $500 title. So they get it up to 29. Say they sold 35. How would you know? Ladies and gentlemen, we've only sold 28 championships. If you guys want $1 t-shirts, that's every shirt we've got. 2 more championships. Come on down, and then
can't even knock the marketing.
They never quite make it. But yeah, man, they made tons of money. They made so much. Which was like we were really shocked to see how much they wanted to offer us to rent the ring. Because like on a normal day, I'll rent my ring for $700. Years ago, I would hear 500 from a lot of people. Because I mean inflation or whatever.
Yeah.
But I would hear, $500 is a ring rental. It might be a little more if you need like steps in a cage or something like that. I've rented a ring and a cage for 9, like total, straight up.
Damn.
Just because that cage fit that ring and not mine. Um, but I've also done the math and realized that I could probably build a cage for like that amount of money, and then I would never have to buy another one, or rent another one. And eventually when we get the second building up, like right here, when we get the second building built, I'm gonna start working on that. I'm probably gonna go ahead and build us a cage.
Yeah.
Just so I don't have to rent one, and I don't want to buy a steel one because I know that I can get a hell of a lot of work done quickly, and I can make that secure as fuck, and I can build it with 2x4s. If you ever saw the SWCW cage, it was 2x4s.
Actually, no, I never saw.
So it was. So you go to a lumber store, go to Lowe's, go anywhere. The typical size of a 2x4 or a 2x6 before you go further down the aisle is 8 feet.
Right.
Well, we had a 6-sided ring. So it's 8 by 8 by 8 by 8 by 8.
Yeah, that 6-sided ring was fucking fun.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. I mean, it's the same thing. Once you get comfortable as a wrestler, you're just like, a ring's a ring. It don't matter.
Yeah.
I've been in 8 sides. I've been in 6 sides. I've seen that triangle ring online. I want to try that.
A fucking triangle?
Yeah.
Oh no.
It's a boxing ring. It's like a kickboxing ring, and it's only 3 sides. But I could wrestle in that. I would have fun wrestling in that. You can't run in it, but I would do it. Anyway, so it's 8 feet high, 8 feet wide. You just build you a box and do it 6 times. Well, the same concept is with a 16-foot ring or an 18-foot ring, but you would just go buy like longer boards. You would, if you have an 18-foot ring, you get a 10-footer and an 8-footer, and then you need a center column beam, which would be like your support in the center. You might do like a 10 by 10 box, and then an 8 by 8 box, or an 8 by 10 box, and then you just screw them together. You do that shit 4 times. One side needs a door. It's not a concept that's impossible, and it's lighter, it's cheaper, it's something that you can replace if you need to fix relatively quickly. I mean, I've seen guys do a lot worse. I've seen guys go with the cattle guard gates, like that. It just looks like a gate for a farm.
Yeah.
So it's got the oval corners and the pipe, and it's like you can fit through the bitch. It's like, why are you using that for a cage if you can get right out of it?
Right.
But then there's always the Spider-Man versus Randy Savage cage. I've always wanted to work in one of those where it's copper beams, like the rebar.
Yes.
Yeah. Where you can clearly get in and out of it, but it looks fucking dope closing down on on top of them in the movie. So I would work in that.
That's probably what made that version of Spider-Man my favorite growing up.
Was the fact that he beat Randy Savage in 3 minutes
in a fucking cage match.
Well, fuck yeah. I'll tell you what, though, that movie, not my favorite of the. Okay, that is my favorite of that particular franchise, of those 3 films.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite Spider-Man movie. I think the most recent one is my favorite just because I'm sentimental. And it's got all 3 Spider-Men in it. But Andrew Garfield got fucked. The Amazing Spider-Man franchise could have been a lot better. It could have been a lot better. And I blame Sony wholeheartedly for everything they've done to Marvel.
I haven't even watched The Amazing Spider-Man.
So, the first one, fucking great. It's a good fucking movie. Sony sucks. Somebody shared the Rotten Tomatoes like score of all the Sony films.
Yeah.
And Venom 2 is the only one that doesn't fucking suck. Every other one, it's like 50% rotten or less.
Jesus.
So like, I think the Venom 2 Let There Be Carnage was the only one that was like certified fresh. Everything else is dog shit. Madam Web was dog shit. Even Craven the Hunter, they were like, this is the one that's going to save the franchise, and it was dog shit.
Isn't that the newest one?
Yeah, it just came out. It's like 13%.
Okay, now I just want to talk real quick about this. That was what, a smooth 10-foot drop through that table?
Probably more.
Like,
Kevin Owens jumping off the pirate ship because he wanted to jump off the pirate ship at the arena.
Yeah,
that they have at what is that?
The next year.
Well, no, what is that arena called? Because it's the Buccaneers.
Is that's not SoFi? Is that SoFi?
I don't even know. I don't even know which city it's in.
Tampa,
Florida, Buccaneers, Florida Buccaneers, football people.
Oh, now it's gonna bother me. I've got to look it up.
But yeah, that had to be 10, 12, maybe even 15 feet.
Buccaneers Stadium. Raymond James.
Raymond James Stadium. Thank you, Terry.
Fucking, yeah, no. Like a 15-foot drop in front of nobody. But you drop him through the elbow.
There's definitely a pad underneath that table.
Yes.
And if you've ever looked at that table, that top sheet is a hard foam. It's like if you can whiff it, like you can whiff it and wobble it if you want to.
Yeah.
It's because it's built inside a fucking rebuildable box. Look at those announce tables. Some of them are ugly as shit because they've been broken a million times. It's movie magic, but it still sucks to fall on, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
I keep forgetting this is hot.
Fucking. But what I'm questioning is the logic behind doing that big ass elbow drop from the sign, then rolling him in the ring and putting him down with a stunner. Like, what? Shouldn't the elbow drop have been the exclamation point on that?
True.
I mean, to get him up and put him in the ring to do a stunner afterward is just kind of like, what was the point?
I think there's someone in your ear saying, I don't give a shit what you do. Just beat him with a stunner. You know, and there's some people that would question that two different ways. They would say, do I have to? I want to do this other thing. And then there's other people that are just like, okay, well, that just means I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want. And then when I'm done, I'll do what you asked.
Fair enough.
There's a lot of people that are like that. Like, and I'll be completely honest. I've been that wrestler that's like, anything you do want me to do specifically. And then they'll tell me. And then I say, okay, anything that I can't do. And then they tell me. And then I go, okay, well, like, if that's all you're concerned about, I'm going to go crazy out there. Most promoters are just like, don't throw my microphone. Don't hurt any fans. Other than that, do whatever you want. You know.
Speaking of which, who was it recently? There was a mid-match in TNA. Fucking fan decided to smack the wrestler.
Oh yeah, that was Eddie Edwards.
Was it Eddie Edwards? Yeah. Like, look, it's dumb as fuck. Number one, if you have a drink, don't get anywhere near a fucking wrestler, because odds are you're losing that some bitch.
The dude was like, that was what he said. He's like, he hit my drink out of my hand, so I slapped him. And technically, Eddie did assault him. That's considered assault, right? But that doesn't fucking matter when you're in that space.
Yeah.
Because the security is going to blame you and say you're out no matter what. And that's exactly what happened. Fucking he slapped him. Dude slapped him right back. And then two referees got right in between them. Mm-hmm. And then immediately we're like, okay, that's it. Get him the fuck out. Because you'll. So, like, this is obvious. This is
somebody's hurt.
Legit injury for a referee. If you see this, that's like the green card or the red card for soccer. Get him out of here.
Like ejected.
Gone.
Ejectocito.
Yeah, so that's the first thing you saw. You just saw one hand go up, and then they pointed at him. They're pointing at whoever's in charge to get a real security guard over there to get him the fuck out. And it didn't take long. And then like you hear the fans, you fucked up, you fucked up.
Yeah, oh yeah, they started letting him have it.
And honestly, I don't know Eddie Edwards. He might be a dick. He might have not deserved what happened to him. The fan might have not deserved what happened to him either. But some promoters are like, give him a T-shirt, send him out, tell him not to come back for a few weeks. Then you have other promoters who are like, get their name, we're calling an attorney. I never want to see that person again unless it's in front of a judge. It just depends on the promoter. Me personally, I tell the boys in the back, you've heard me, I say be safe, have fun. That's your 2 rules. If you're doing something like that, you're not being safe. You don't know what that person is capable of. You don't know what they have in their pocket. You also don't know what kind of day they've had.
Yeah.
So don't fucking do that. And then I look at it like this. Like, I'll tell you a quick story before we wrap this up. I had a wrestler spit in the eye of a fan, like a loogie, because the fan threw, I believe it was glitter, like had a jar of glitter and threw it on him and called him a fairy. Now, you know me decently. Who am I going to punish? Am I going to punish the fan or am I going to punish the wrestler?
I'd say for spitting the loogie, the wrestler.
I'm going to punish the fucking wrestler.
Yeah, because it was fucking glitter.
That's funny.
That's fucking hilarious.
That's funny. I would be more upset about the glitter if it got all over my ring or my arena or whatever. That was not justified. And then like a couple of weeks are going by and luckily the fan came back. But every single time I go to the ring, I spit water in the air.
Right.
So I would kind of rib that fan. I would look for her and then I would spit the other direction just to get a laugh. And I got a laugh every time because I was just being silly. Like, hey, man, that was a lot. It didn't have to be like that. What? Why? What are we doing? I don't know if I just saw that right, but was that Austin Theory and Umberto as a team against the Private Party tag team?
Street Profits.
Other show. My bad.
It would have been.
So this is Strowman and Goldberg, right?
So this is the main.
Well,
no, the main event of this night is the
Cena,
Boneyard.
Is it the Boneyard on this one?
Yeah, it's Taker and AJ.
Because I figured it was Cena and
Wyatt
last.
I thought so too.
Did I get that backwards? See, let's see how long this match ends.
Fucking.
Because I bet you this one's about the same length as the Drew McIntyre Brock Lesnar match.
This was actually much more of a one-sided squash than I expected it to be.
Well, yeah, I think Goldberg had the same attitude Lesnar did because they're boys and they were probably sitting there together going, "Well, fuck this,
fuck this shit, dude. Let's call it quick and get out of here."
Yeah, my shit's up. I don't need to be here.
Fucking.
Would you call? Does this mean Strowman main evented WrestleMania? Or
nope, because of the fact that Boneyard's
next.
I
mean, does that take it away?
Yeah, I would say so. It was the last
because it's in a different fucking place.
It was the last thing shown on the show.
That's fair. That's all that matters to Punk. So that's all that should be. If that's all that matters to Punk, then it should be gospel.
That's all Punk wants. That's all he's ever wanted.
Just let me go last.
I just want to be last on Mania. Damn it.
Well, he's like you wrestled fucking Undertaker in front of 75,000 people. He's like, I don't give a shit.
I don't care.
We weren't last.
I don't care if I was the last victim of the streak.
You should fucking care more that I didn't end the show. See, they don't have sparklers. It's all fog. They use lights to try to jack it up. Look, you can tell Goldberg's like, I might have over warmed up. He's stretching. He didn't headbutt no fucking doors neither.
Concussing himself before he ever gets to the fucking ring.
Dude, he did that a few times. Like way more than once.
Yeah. Fucking But with that
Because am I
theory,
wrong, or is this literally like 3 power slams and that's it?
I think Goldberg may hit one
Spear?
spear.
Does he spear him out the gate, or do we go straight into the power slam? Does he like go for the buckle? Because I think it's buckle, misses the spear, power slam, and then he picks him up like 2 more times.
I cannot remember for the fucking life of me. This was such a weird point in time.
Yeah. Bro, you know what was weirder than this one? So, like, when I eventually do go to Hawaii, since I mentioned that earlier,
Mm-hmm.
there was I think it was like the following year, right? Like, it took us that long to get there.
Goddamn.
Because I remember there being a WrestleMania match where it was like, I want to say it was Apollo Crews and maybe Bobby Lashley, and there was a bunch of drums
The
around the
Nigerian
ring.
drum fight.
Was that at Mania?
Yes.
So it took me a year to make it to my honeymoon.
I think that was Apollo and Big E, if I'm not mistaken.
That might be right. Either way, I just remember the drums and the very dramatic, like, Nigerian setup. The spears and everything. So I'm watching WrestleMania in a Hawaiian hotel room on my cell phone because the time change, it's like 2 p.m.
Jeez.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I'm up on like the 30th floor of a fucking hotel right next to the ocean. But there's another hotel right across the way. And I'm looking out my window. And my wife's taking a nap. I'm just chilling. And I look out my window and I see a set of hands and a set of tits on the glass. And this dude is just going ham back shots. Misses. Hey, he misses the thing. Oh, I called it.
Straight
I
into it.
called it. Ooh, he slides off the back.
And there's your spear.
We're going to do our own commentaries. 2 spears? 2 spears!
The fact that Strowman's just getting right the fuck back
2
up.
fucking spears.
And I think
3 spears! He's getting up. 3 spears. 1, 2. He kicks out a 3 fucking spears.
How does that have to feel? Just one after the other after the other.
Anyway, Nigerian street fight and chick across the way. She's 1 floor up, and I'm watching this dude clap cheeks, and I'm laughing. 4 spears.
God damn.
I grab a cigar. I put my feet up on the ledge outside, and I'm just watching this set of tits wiggle in the mirror. And, like, I've got sunglasses on, so she doesn't know if I'm awake or if I'm even there, but she eventually looks down and sees me, and then they both disappear. He goes for the jackhammer, hits the power slam. We gonna get 2? 2 power slams. He's up. Down.
So 4 spears.
4 spears, 2 power slams. 1 missed in the buckle. 3 power slams. Yes. Is he gonna do 4? Like, get up, you son of a bitch. You should be dead because I hit my finish 3 times. But you go ahead and get the fuck up. Fuck it. I'm going to do it again. What a piece of shit. Doesn't even let him jump for this one. Yeah, look at the hard cam, you fuck. 4. And he lands on his hip and shoulder. 1, 2, 3.
That was what? Maybe 2 minutes? 2.5, 3?
See what you can get done in a minute. I told you. Y'all can get it done in a minute. What the fuck?
What?
This is the weirdest show. I'm glad we watched it, though.
It is.
We're going to bypass the boneyard for next time. This was interesting.
So many...
And Goldberg's just like, my hip. Oh, fuck.
God damn.
So gray and just tired that they didn't have any Just for Men in the back. Oh, man. Fucking 4 spears and some dirty goddamn combat boots. What a fucking match. See, that's what I was saying. These are so short and silly. Oh, man. And how much?
First 3,
and here's the thing.
so
they've already signed their contracts. How much money do you think he got for that? He made his date. It's not his fault there's not 70,000 people there.
I have a feeling that him and Lesnar
crazy.
both have that contract pulled where they can say, motherfucker, you're still paying me.
You're still paying me. I showed up. It says 5 dates a year. That
was all hip.
All hip and shoulder. Fucking A. Well, I can't think of a better way to end this than that. Fucking new champ, go Strowman.